So I always wanted to shoot a heavier arrow, and most of the heavy arrows were some type of like carbon or aluminum blend. There was not like a very durable solid carbon thick wall 4mm arrow. So that's kind of where the concept came from. What we're trying to do is basically build a very consistent spine all the way around the clock. Durable combination of components, arrows, and rear components to where you have a complete system all in one package where you don't have to go out and buy a shaft from this company, components from this company, and then morph it all together. It's all like one-stop shop where it comes from one location.
It was one of those things where I had shot a lot of different arrows, would switch almost every year trying to chase that perfect arrow. Felt like the arrows that were currently there didn't really have the weights that I was looking for in a balanced arrow. And then just wanting that additional toughness in the setup. The arrow is actually the one touch point of bow hunting that affects and interacts with the animal. Nothing else does. Have some fresh ibex. And so that's where your ethical shot comes into play. I really feel like having the right setup in a way is part of the ethics of hunting, especially for the species that you're hunting.
When you asked a person, what arrow do you shoot? They would just tell you, I shoot a 28-inch arrow. And that's really all most people ever knew. And they would always just bring their last year's arrow into the shop to get a new arrow. And so they'd say, I need a 28-inch arrow. Well, the industry is still kind of that way. People still shoot the same length arrow they've always shot, but the length of the arrow should be the last thing you determine, not the first, because by adjusting the length of the arrow, you're adjusting the amount that it flexes. So by kind of pigeonholing yourself to a length right off the bat, which is the way most people buy arrows, you're eliminating the easiest way to adjust the dynamic spine or how much the arrow flexes under load. So what we do is we take in consideration the draw length, the draw weight of the bow, also the point weight, which affects how long that arrow should be. So for instance, if a guy has a bunch of 125 heads already and he tells us that, we know that if he wants to shoot a 300 spine arrow, for example, we can cut it a little bit shorter if he's shooting a 125 or a 150. But if he's only shooting a 100 grain head, we know that we can cut a little bit longer. And so that arrow is going to flex the same based on this point weight and how long we cut it. So we take all that information and use that to determine, what exactly they need, from the spine to the length to the component weight. It's really customizable, but it's super easy.
Being able to go on a lot of hunts and do what I do, not just the guiding, but like my own personal hunts and go on a lot of different hunts, gave me a lot of chance to really hone my setup and really figure out what I really like. I just kept coming back to really enjoying the day 6 stuff. Also really like the experience of being able to have my arrow order and have the exact arrow that I want built and sent to me, which is huge. Like that was why I became a day 6 customer, because it was one of those things where, I might need some arrows, but okay, I can buy shafts, but I don't have time to fletch them, or I don't have time to set them up, or I might be on the road, or whatever it is. Just to be able to like that customer experience of order arrows that are cut exactly how I need, but I could order a 4-vein setup, the exact length with the right weight head, perfect setup, and then just sent to me. And that was like kind of the start of why I started using day 6.
When you're buying third-party components, what you get the sizes are generalized, so they'll fit multiple different brand and size arrows. A very simple number that people know is like 308. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that the outside diameter of our arrow is 308, but to buy an aftermarket component for that arrow, you'd have to buy something that might be 310 to 320 where it'll fit several different arrows. The way we do it is each component is fit for each size shaft. We do each one separately, so you basically only have 1/1000th of an inch tolerance between the outside of the arrow and the inside of the collar.
I think about a hunt in a successful, like just to get to that point where you're drawing back and letting that arrow fly. There's so much to it. Cost of travel, cost of tags, years of applying. Getting your body in shape to go after it. It might be 10 days of hunting, might be even the first day, whatever. There's so much involved, so much time away from family, so much time invested, time taken off of work, money in tags, like everything. And it all kind of depends on that arrow connecting in the right way. Once that arrow's released from the bow, then that's the story. Whether it's like that's your success or it's something happened. And I like to go into that vein of success based on knowing that I have a high quality product and it's going to perform how I want it to perform in that like crunch time.
Oh my God.